What's up, everybody? I'm Greg Miller. Max Hoberman and Dennis Reese are here to talk about Halo the Master Chief Collection. But first, hoverboards are real, Arnold Schwarzenegger is old, this is Up at Noon. It's the news you care about with your normal panel of experts, the one and only Italian meatball, Brian Altano. Over here, the producer slash seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Welcome home, everyone.
Our top story this week, hoverboards are real.
Yeah, they are.
What, it's $10,000?
Yeah.
This isn't a good thing. You're gonna break your neck, Nick.
I mean, how is it any different than skateboarding? That's what I'm saying. Like, I break my neck. I can break my neck walking off of this stage.
You're gonna drop your credit card underneath it. Credit card wipe. There you go. That's how it's different.
Oh, that
than skateboarding.
would suck. Because I need my credit card. Otherwise, how am I gonna do stuff?
Yeah, I guess that's a problem.
No, I don't know. I think this is awesome, right? You know, when Back to the Future came out, and obviously they can't reference it. If you read their site, they're not allowed to talk about the movie as per their lawyer's request.
Sure.
But we all wanted one of those things, and now it's becoming a reality. I'm more excited for what it means for the industry, just of transportation in general, right? They've already used this.
The industry of transportation in general,
well,
Brian.
imagine,
Nick's been a big fan of the industry of transportation.
Well, here's why I
general.
don't like traffic, right? Coming from LA, I hate traffic.
Sure.
Imagine if all the roads. I had this conversation with our producer Sean Finnegan. Almost called you our camera guy.
What's up,
you are
Sean?
our producer. Who was like, well, no, imagine if every street was made out of this stuff and everything was computerized, and when you got in your car, you just typed in an address and it told you an actual accurate estimation for how long it was going to take to get there, because it can calculate all the cars on the roads, where they're going, and how long it's going to take them.
What does this have to do with hoverboards?
That's where it starts. And then Skynet is step 3.
Wait, no, step 2 was in Back to the Future 2, they also had flying cars.
That was cool, except
That's how
I don't
they
know if the
fixed
cars
this.
worked on water either, but the hoverboards sure didn't.
Yeah, but you don't
Unless you had power.
Unless you had
Yeah, of course. Don't forget, if you had power, you're fine.
Oh, okay.
I think it's kind of amazing because we've wanted this our whole lives. Like when I was a little kid, and I'm sure you guys had this too. When we were all kids, there was that story that they made them.
Yeah.
But then they tested them on a bunch of people, but they all got hurt.
Right.
And they had to get rid of them. Like a bunch of moms complained, and I started hating moms.
Of course.
Because of
that's
this.
where it all started for us.
So
Our
I
hate
always
of
thought,
moms.
like, of all the things in Back to the Future 2 that we would get, I didn't think it would be hoverboards. I thought it would be flying cars. But more importantly, I thought it would be those pizzas that you could make in like 5 seconds.
Nobody hydrates a pizza like you, Grandma.
So Back to the Future 2, if you're not 40, like us, there was a machine that they were like, oh, we only have a few minutes to make dinner, and they put this pizza in this.
It was like this big, right?
Yeah, it was this big. It didn't make any sense. It was like Shrinky Dinks.
They went to
but I
Pizza
guess
Hut and
again,
they
if
got
you're
these little pizzas.
Right.
Yeah.
And they put them in there, and then
Like a second later, it would pop out as a giant extra.
And it looked just like the Pizza Hut in the Pizza Hut commercials.
And I feel
not
like
like the real Pizza Hut
not
you
the
get
real
that's all
Pizza
like
Hut.
destroyed. It looked like the
So
Blake
good the
Shelton
next day,
pizza.
though.
And of all the things I thought we'd have in the actual future, which is now apparently, I thought it would be that, because I feel like we work to make food easier more than we work to make anything else easier.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely, when it comes down to it, our stomachs take precedence. But the cool thing that they did show in their little tech demo was they had it hooked up to a little model of a land speeder. And you could see the land speeder sliding around with a little remote control that they had, and I was like, that's really cool. Star Wars is now starting to happen, which is awesome.
The summation on this is that it's all too expensive and it'll never work. You're never gonna get streets.
Well,
that are
they
smart.
showed a skate park and all the stuff they want to do, and that's the only way it's gonna work.
No. It's $10,000. Nobody's buying this thing. The bubble's gonna burst. We'll have to worry about the EMP going off and erasing all our data. Story number 2: there might not be Ghostface in Scream the TV show. Number 1: there's Scream the TV show.
Yeah,
coming
what?
up. This had slipped by me. I didn't notice this, but yeah, ghostface.co.uk.
Wait, that's a very specific site.
People really it's either Ghostface Killer or it's Ghostface from Scream. It's Ghostface from Scream. They reached out to the guy from Fun World, who is the guy who owns the Scream likeness. He said in a statement that the Weinstein Company had not contacted him. As of now, and during the initial launch, Ghostface is not involved in the new format.
First of all, I love that these guys probably got the bill from GoDaddy, and they're like, should we renew the site? And they're like, yeah, they're making a Scream TV show. Everyone's gonna be talking about Ghostface.
Yeah.
.com.
And then they get the letter,
UK.
it's like, he's not in that show. I'm like, God damn it! I want my $15 back. Yeah, this is ridiculous. This is like making, it's like making a Fast and the Furious TV show that's about walking.
Wow.
Like there's no,
That would suck.
The main character is the villain, and Courtney Cox, who died like 4 times.
Again,
In her life or in the show?
having just
show,
learned this TV show exists and doing no follow-up research, I assume Courtney Cox isn't in this. They're rebooting it just like they were rebooting the Ghostbusters. At this point, I'm not upset that the mask isn't involved.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe they said Ghostface is not involved in the new format. During the initial launch. Maybe it's going to be one of those prequel like lead-ups. Season finale, you see the hand reach out in the Halloween shop and grab the Ghostface.
So maybe you think it's like a prequel, like a sort of origin story for Ghostface?
Well, I mean, it's a TV story. You got to start somewhere.
That's true. I mean, they did mention that there might be some other opportunities to. I think the spin that MTV was trying to put on it was they want to probably.
It's an MTV show?
Yeah, it's an MTV show.
I really didn't read the story at all.
That's okay. They want to. I think they want to make another thing. Because Ghostface has been around for a really long time. Great, yeah, it's got the branding. Everyone knows it's Scream, but Scream's really old. Yeah. So why not bring something else, another persona or another character to life? Sell a crap ton of those masks at Halloween time and call it a day.
Okay.
See, I mean, I get doing an origin story on like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre guy because like Leatherface was like 35, but doing an origin story on like the Scream killer, like that dude was like a freshman in high school.
There was 2 of them actually.
So it's like what?
Spoilers.
It's like, oh, middle school was hard. I gotta murder people next year when I go to a new school. Like that's not an origin story. You don't need a whole show for that.
I don't think it'll be an origin story. I was speculating.
I think
it was wild
speculation.
I think it's just gonna be the movie boiled down into a TV show.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just call it literally anything else? It has nothing to do with the movie.
Why do they keep rebooting everything? Because they're out of ideas. Nobody wants to take a chance. It needs to be an established IP. That's why we're selling this Up at Noon movie the best we can.
Featuring none of us.
Final story of the week. James Cameron is not making Terminator Genesis. However, he put in a good word for why Arnold Schwarzenegger should be in Terminator Genesis. He is in Terminator Genesis. Everybody's complaining, of course, why would the Terminator get older, right? Cameron points out, he says, I pointed out, the outer covering of the Terminator was not actually synthetic, that it was organic and therefore could age. You could theoretically have a Terminator that was sent back in time, missed his target, and ended up just kind of living in society. Because he's a learning computer.
Shopping, going to Bed Bath & Beyond.
Because he is a learning computer and has a brain as a central processor, he could actually become more human as he went along without getting discovered.
He added, also, it's a fucking movie about time-traveling robots. Get over it.
That pitch, I just immediately signed up for day one going to see Terminator Genesis.
Really?
Doesn't that sound awesome?
No, it sounds great, but I don't understand why he has to explain it.
Is it going to be more like a romantic comedy, or like along the way he fell in love with someone and they have to overcome adversity to be with each other? He's like, I have something to tell you.
When the T-800 was sent back in time, things didn't go his way.
He thought he'd just kill, but now he's in love.
Now he's killing it with relationships.
I want to take you out to a movie. Is that what people do?
Every little thing she does is magic.
He's just like walking, someone comes up, he squeezes the dude to death.
Yeah, you know how the montages work.
I'd make that movie. I'd watch that movie actually.
You know what?
I'm in.
You went your hype level went from I'd make that movie to no, I'd see it. Let me be more realistic.
My hands are clean.
I'm not gonna get on board with this Terminator Genesis with J.K. Simmons. It may not be that great.
I mean, my thing is I just don't know that I want to watch Arnold Schwarzenegger in that role anymore.
What?
He's, I mean, the hair is so like elegantly coiffed. It's just sad because every time you see him, when he was in the last one, it was cool, but it was like a CG version of him, right? In Salvation, and then the one before that in Terminator 3, he was in it, but I just don't buy that he can. He doesn't have the physical presence that he used to have in the first two. Oh no, I buy that he's a robot. That's easy. He nails that part. I don't buy that he's this. He's just not. He's not imposing anymore, right? He doesn't have that sort of fear that we had in the first two. When we first saw him,
Yeah, because we're not 10.
Well, no, but it's not that we're not 10. It's that he's 114.
He's also a former elected official, which is like the least cool thing you can be.
He's like, hey, I set some damn good policy over the last 3 years.
No, that's a lie.
It's not a good. Yeah,
but I love how James Cameron has all this advice for this new movie. Like, dude, where were you the last two?
Yeah.
We needed you.
Cameron says
Those are hurting.
Cameron says I wasn't interested in producing it or working on the film actively, but I did want to put in a good word for Arnold.
Yep. I just want to read between the lines in that. I just want to make sure this movie is a giant pile of shit.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. I want to make sure it goes down in flames.
I like his pitch. I'm down for it.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's another episode of the News.
Wait, Greg, you're forgetting something, aren't you? Overdrive.
No, Overcharge.
That's not what it's called.
Overcharge.
Don't clap for that. Don't clap for that.
Delirium XT Overdrive.
To be fair, they're barely clapping for that.
Greg, I think we need to do one more segment.
It's the news you care about, Overcharge.
Today's Overcharge story. Beards. Should Sean Finnegan have one or not?
No, we're not doing beards and talking about Sean Finnegan.
He has a baby face.
We're gonna do real news.
He looks like he came off a shoot.
All right, here's something else that
I kind
happened.
of wanted to talk about beards.
You're supposed to be on my side.
I'm between worlds
what's the real news story?
Real story is I want to talk about this guy who had his game pulled from Steam after threatening to kill Gabe Newell.
Well, you know, what did he think was going to happen?
Well, no, if you're not following this, of course, Paranautical Activity went up for sale on Steam. It was mislabeled, saying it was early access. The developer, Mike Malbeck, went on tweet that he since deleted and said that I am going to kill Gabe Newell. He is going to die. And this is after like a long rant of tweets about this or whatever. Then Valve said, well, we're just going to take your game down. Then he apologized, tried to get it done, and then today he resigned.
First of all, I want to thank whoever booed murder earlier. That was really.
Some people still got values in the up and new audience.
Yeah, way to not use
Yeah, this is horrible. Like, I mean, I've been saying this a lot about a lot of things going on, but I feel like, and this isn't funny, but I feel like nothing has ever been improved with the impending threat of murder. Like, no creative person in history has ever been like, this painting's going to be better because there's a gun to my head, or this movie's going to be better, or this game's going to have more
Michelangelo,
gameplay.
make sure you get that ceiling right.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
get that statue.
How am I going to do it?
Make the dick better on the statue.
This is the statue of David. It's going to be
For the record, Nick Scarpino is Italian. He can do that. He can do that accent and doesn't. No, I mean the big thing is like it's just more hyperbole gone wrong, right? Like why are we so quick to shoot off the mouth on Twitter as if no one would see it when literally the entire world is looking?
I mean, is Gabe Newell really? Is that part of his like job to approve these things?
No,
to
of course
actually
not.
go online and write the text that goes out to their no, of course not. So like taking your rage out on someone is just not a good idea. Take a deep breath. Write the email, walk outside, come back, rewrite the email.
Or threaten someone with something that makes no sense at all. Like, I'm gonna fill your car with dinosaur bones. And someone's like, holy shit, that's so bizarre, I can't even track that.
How do you?
That would cost millions of dollars to assemble and pull off. That's not a real threat. But if you're like, I'm gonna kill you in a museum under a dinosaur, then you're like, oh, that's feasible. I go to the museum once or twice a year with my kids. It's a scary world out there.
Also, if my kids saw a car full of dinosaur bones, they'd freak out and probably be kind of pissed off for life. So
they would
that's
they'd be pissed off for life.
Well, they'd be like freaked out for life.
No,
like, every time they see a bone,
see that dinosaur bones in those cars.
like you give them a chicken bone and they get like a chicken wing and they get down to the bone and they just start shaking and freak out and like have a.
Mike, you don't understand kids at all.
No, I don't have any kids. Is that what kids do? Someone has a niece. You have a niece, right? No, I don't know. Nephew, right on.
Whatever, we don't care.
So you just assume that children are terrified of bones in general?
Wouldn't you be? Have you seen The Bone Collector? Angelina Jolie's finest work.
Yeah. I don't think there were any kids in that movie.
No, I don't think so either. We're got way off topic.
We are.
So
everybody be nice on the internet, I think is the easiest way. Don't be a bunch of jerks on Twitter or
think
any
before
other
you
social media.
tweet.
Also, more people clap for The Bone Collector than they booed for murder.
And so ends our commitment to Overcharge, but we have a brand new thing happening. We have the immortal Hulk Hogan coming through IGN in a few weeks, and we wanted to see your wrestling promos. If the Hulkster thinks yours is the best, you'll win a WrestleMania prize pack, including a signed WrestleMania 30 chair and a copy of 30 Years of WrestleMania from DK Publishing. Just cut a promo, upload it to YouTube, and send the link to WrestleMania@IGN.com with the subject line, DK 30 Years of WrestleMania Giveaway. What should you say in your promo? How about you respond to this? Hulk Hogan, 3 years ago you came to IGN and chopped me across the chest. And then you just walked out of my life thinking I never amount to anything. But here I am, Hulkster. #1 talk show on IGN. 180,000 Twitter followers, and now you're coming home! What do you think's gonna happen, Hulk, when you walk through the door? When I had nothing to lose, I let you hit me. And now I'm on top, Hogan. So what do you think's gonna happen when Team Fat runs wild on you? So there you have it. Full rules are available at the link below. Speaking of links, Craig Way! My next guest is working on a link between Halo Master Chief Collection and Halo 5 Guardians. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Max Hoberman and Dennis Reese. How you doing?
Good.
Thank you. Max, how are you? Good. You're so far away. Oh, yeah. You're so Scooty. Oh, yeah. Everybody's right up in
I'm
here.
suddenly very warm.
Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry. That's how we all do the interviews here.
This is great.
Halo, the Master Chief Collection.
Yes.
What the hell are you guys thinking?
Yeah, it's a big project.
Why
pretty
have
ambitious.
4 Halo games shoved into one? Not to mention that these are all beloved games, a beloved character, and you guys are like, yeah, I'm sure nothing will go wrong.
Yeah, that was our take when we first started. But then, of course, lots of things go wrong.
Of course,
But we fix them along the way. That's what we do.
Dial it back. Where does it begin in terms of like you guys want to do this, Dennis?
Yeah, you know, when we started thinking about what type of awesome content we could bring to the Xbox One, really we thought a great way to introduce what Halo 5 is coming for next year was to create the Master Chief Collection and to really bring sort of that history of Master Chief all in one great package for the fans to just sort of relive and play the year prior to Halo 5's launch.
But this could have gone one of 2 ways. I mean, we're talking about like games and multiplayer that are beloved, and people. It's always one of those things, right? You always have those great memories. You think back, oh, I loved this game growing up, and then you play it, and you're like, whoa, this does not hold up. Superman 64, for instance. Like, I mean, was that intimidating to take on?
It was intimidating, but there was a lot of faith. You know, we had done Halo Anniversary a couple years prior, and right away you realize the gameplay holds up. Like, Bungie knew what they were doing when they made that game.
Yeah.
And absolutely, like, they deserve props there.
I've heard of Bungie,
Yeah, they're pretty popular. But yeah, so obviously we were confident the gameplay would hold up.
Yeah.
Well, this was also, I think a lot of it started as the 10-year anniversary for Halo 2.
Sure.
And Halo 2, nobody doubted that Halo 2 multiplayer especially would stand up well.
Right, because everyone's still talking. That's still the barometer. Right. Everybody compares it to that.
Exactly.
And that's where you come in, right?
I did.
You made all Halo 2 multiplayer by yourself.
Not quite.
No, not
It was a team. It was a team effort. Small team. Very small team.
So, talk about your involvement with that, because you're coming in now and like everybody keeps pointing to you and saying Halo 2 anniversary, Halo 2 anniversary.
I was at Bungie, the company that you've heard of.
I've heard of these people.
Yes, I was there actually pre-Microsoft days when back in Chicago days. When,
hey, I'm from Chicago.
Yeah.
You ever eat at Portillo's?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. This guy's awesome, everybody. Max Hoverman for president.
I was there. Then we came out to Seattle, and we had Halo already in the works. And at the time, I was not full-time development. I was doing mostly user interface and running Bungie's community team. And then for Halo 2, I jumped over full-time to development, and I was in charge of all the multiplayer, online, everything.
Nice.
So worked out all right.
Yeah. And here you are again.
Yeah, and
doing it again.
Just 10 years ago, and it's like I haven't made one step forward. Just doing
the same thing all over.
But no, in all honesty, now I own my own company, Certain Affinity.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
And we've been doing Halo and a few other things too. So we got lots of stuff.
You've been making a lot of games. Yeah, you're doing a lot of stuff over there.
Yeah, we do all right.
Yeah, you're pretty cool.
Yeah.
When are we getting?
Pretty cool to hang out with.
You know that? You remember Age of Booty?
Oh yes,
do you remember
a game that is near and dear to my heart.
When do we get another one? Because I really liked that game.
No, that was awesome to hear.
Bring it to PS4. That's all I'm asking.
All right,
Is that hard?
I'll do it. I'll do it for you.
Hexagonal pirates going around. It was amazing.
That's awesome. So we have an H Booty fan. That's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm the one.
Dennis, why are you sitting between us?
I know. I feel like
we need to be
some
he's
real.
He's not a real barrier to our love. You don't have to worry about
just the meat in this sandwich.
No, we'll get back to this Halo that I keep hearing so much about. So the thing that I don't know if I'm sure you watch Up at Noon. I'm sure you're a big fan. You got to subscribe to. You do all that stuff. Last week we had this guy on, this Mike Coulter fellow.
Yeah.
Locke himself.
Yeah.
He's talking about Nightfall, talking a bit about Halo 5. When you guys talk, you could have just brought Master Chief Collection and said, it's all the Halo games you love, see you later. But instead, when you introduced it, you talked that like Locke is involved in it somehow. What is that? What is happening with it?
Yeah, so when we redid all of the cinematics for Halo 2 Anniversary, when Halo 2, a lot of people felt like the story just sort of was cut off. And so what we wanted to do is...
Can't imagine why they...
And so we wanted to make sure that we, bridge some of that gap, and one of the ways to do that was to create an epilogue and a prologue to the actual cinematics that you'll see. And it's there you'll see some of Agent Locke and some real strong connection points to Halo 5.
Okay.
You'll also see more connection points in terminal videos, which are scattered throughout the game that you go find. And then again, it'll tell a deeper story about the Arbiter. So
Tell it to me now.
No. Not yet.
I thought for a second we had you. You look like you were going to give me something.
I was paused. It almost came out.
So then for something like that, how hard is it to come into these games, these classic games, and then start adding or changing or doing, I mean, you don't want to mess up the special sauce and what made it work, right?
No, that was the key. We didn't want to do that. So we didn't touch the original game code. We really just made it work on the Xbox One, and then actually just sort of up-res all the graphics and made it look and sort of feel like an updated, next-gen game.
Sure.
Well, there's a few changes, like you can play Halo 1 online, for instance.
So, yes.
A big one, a big one.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. So when it focused on Halo 2, when we remade it, we didn't want to make too many changes to what the classic game was. But then with the Master Chief Collection, dedicated server, 60 frames per second, they're all sort of joined together as one great game that you can sort of play continuously.
The unified ranking system now,
unified ranking system. There's achievements, there's medals, there's a scoring system.
Yeah, the cores are the same, but they have this kind of fancy wrapper on them now.
Yeah.
So then,
Nice
the big
bow.
thing. I'm sorry, I was talking.
Yeah, well, I was making a gift bow reference.
I'm sorry. That's okay. I take it back. I take it back.
Yeah.
A big thing, you guys have been here on doing the IGN First stuff. You've been showing content all throughout the month of October here on IGN, and you keep showing these new maps. Hey, here's the maps you loved, and they've been. How did you choose which ones to go in and touch and finesse?
Yeah, that was really tough. It was, a lot of the Halo 2 maps, people played them so much and they love them so much, it was really hard to pick. But we started kind of like I approached the overall map plan for Halo 2 at the time, which was not thinking about individual maps, but thinking about these maps as an ecosystem. They have to exist and provide a good experience and a breadth of experience across all 6 maps. So that, some things that we might have otherwise chosen kind of got butted out as a result, and other ones got pulled in. So yeah, we had a set probably about a dozen maps that kind of the best of the best, and we could only do half of them. So we're kind of holistically what makes a nice package. So that's what Dennis asked us to do. Give him a nice package.
And I did.
Was there a gift bow on?
There was a gift bow involved.
All right, that's what I want to hear too. So I mean, for you,
that's a terrible explanation. I'm sorry.
I don't know how I respond.
You just did a live stream today. I'm sure you're exhausted.
No, it's all good. I'm just getting warmed up.
Oh, good. I'm glad. They're going to keep running you through everything,
Yeah.
I'm sure, at IGN to make sure it all goes to hell for you soon enough. So then, I guess, how do you sell someone on the Master Chief Collection? Obviously, anybody who's played the games before, and all the Halo 2 multiplayer fans are so down and so ready to be a part of it. What about for somebody who's new, who started with Halo 4 and is waiting for Halo 5? How do you sell them on going back?
Well, from the multiplayer perspective, everything that Certain Infinity's done is really new. It's completely next gen and all remade maps and an updated sandbox. So there's a lot there. From the campaign side, we've done creative things like the campaign playlists, which allow you to essentially play all 4 games as one. So for example, if you like the levels with tanks, you can play a playlist that just lets you play every level of those 4 games that have a tank on them. And you can kind of customize your experience that you want to play. So you can play Halo however you want to play it.
Well, what I've seen also is this phenomenon where there's a lot of people that are Halo fans that because of circumstances or their age or something else, they haven't actually, they came in during Halo 3, for example, and they're like, they feel like they missed out. Everybody talks about Halo 2 multiplayer and Halo 1, this and that, and I think for a lot of people, just that opportunity to go back and experience what they missed out on has been pretty huge also.
Good point.
Every level's unlocked. So you can just go in straight to the level that you want to play.
That you remember.
That you remember, and you can just jump in and play it.
So then, for each of you, why do you think Halo endures? Why is it still this cherished memory, this thing that keeps coming and keeps giving?
I mean, from my perspective, it's a great balance of a really good story. It's great to follow along with it, and then excellent gameplay, like we were talking about earlier. The gameplay holds up, and it really is good. From a multiplayer perspective, the maps are so balanced and fun, and it just sort of creates these great memories for me. So, I mean, I will just keep playing, and I've always loved Halo and always have.
Yeah, I think for the campaign in Halo is such, it's this galaxy-spanning, epic story. There's that word again. Used
epic.
It a lot.
That's
got in trouble,
right.
but it really is, right? I mean, Halo is such an epic sci-fi story, and with these great characters, and this great space opera, really, which I'm personally a huge fan of. And then you get multiplayer, and it's got this amazing, we call it the sandbox, right? It's this set of toys, systems that all kind of work together. And then we take that and we stick it in these gorgeous environments that, blue sky and sunny and bright and happy generally.
Yeah.
And people,
generally, except for all the murder and horrible things happening.
But people can forgive a lot of that because it's such a nice place. It kind of works out all right.
Final question. Does Halo ever have an end?
There's no way to answer that question. Halo goes on forever. It's a circle of life.
Well, you just answered.
Oh, damn, Dennis. That just killed it. That was awesome.
Just like Zelda.
We've never heard of Zelda. It's a Microsoft product. Come on now. Max, do you agree?
Absolutely. I can't argue with anything that Dennis said.
Guys, Master Chief Collection comes out November 11th.
Yep.
Thank you so much for coming by showing it today. Let's get in for one more group.
Thank you.
Thank you to Max Hogan and Dennis Reese, Brian Altano, Nick Scarpino, and you, my audience! Aren't they beautiful? As always, I'll be answering questions the first hour this video is live, so come tell me your favorite Halo memory. Mine is when I first found Red vs. Blue. God bless you, Rooster Teeth. We'll be back next Monday at noon with Donald Mustard from Chair, but until then, I'm going back to bed. DaveFilmer.com.